The Pregnacare Show is proudly brought to you by
Mineral Water.
Dole yogurt.
Being a reproductive doctor has its own social perceptions. The individual and societal thought differs. What then should I know about the gynecologist obstetrician? What do they do and who do they see? When should I seek a gynecologist? What can they do for me? Some refer to them as women doctor. Do you know that visiting the hospitals to see the gynecologist obstetrician is very good for your reproductive health care? Have you ever seen one? What perception do you have about them? Have you heard of any funny story or myth of the gynecologist obstetrician? Welcome to the Pregnacare Show. On today's episode, we will be learning more about the obstetrician gynecologist. The show is the Pregnacare Show, and my name is Dede. The show is brought to you by Vena Mineral Drinking Water, changing people's life, and Dole Yogurt. On today's episode, we have a doctor from the Holy Trinity Medical Center, and he's here with us to tell us who the gynecologist obstetrician is. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so for the sake of our viewers, we'd want to know your name, where you work, and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Adolf Mensah Egbehoma. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist at Holy Trinity Medical Center. And about what we do at the obstetrician gynecology side, we see people who want to get pregnant, people who have, women who have problems with their reproductive system, their private parts, and those who are pregnant and through to their deliveries.
So what other services do you provide at Holy Trinity?
So we have the general side and then the surgical side. At the general side, normal OPD, anybody can walk in. We do labs, laboratories. We do visa, American visa, and also we do surgeries, to general surgeries, operations, appendicitis, and all that. And we have the pediatricians too, who look at babies, problems with children.
So at Holy Trinity Medical Center, they provide all the required health services. So just walk in and get attended to. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, doctor will tell us who the obstetrician gynecologist is.
This advert is FDA approved.
Mommy is coming! Mommy is coming!
Have you cleaned the kitchen? Done all the chores?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it's time for
Dole yogurt. Dole yogurt. Everybody grab Dole. It's delicious, creamy, and refreshing too. Mommies love it, and dads enjoy it, and the children, they love it. With a cup of Dole yogurt, with a cup of Dole, with a cup of Dole yogurt, with a cup of Dole. Dole yogurt.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. The show is still the Pregnacare Show, brought to you by Vena Mineral Drinking Water and Dole Yogurt. So doctor, I want to find out, when we say a gynecologist or an obstetrician, who is a gynecologist obstetrician?
Okay, thank you very much for your question.
You're welcome.
Obstetrics is in relation to pregnancy.
Okay.
So let's say you are preparing to get pregnant. You are married or you have a partner, you want to get pregnant. So you go and see the obstetrician that this is what you are trying. Then they optimize you.
Okay.
When you get pregnant, he sees you throughout the pregnancy and then after delivery, postnatal care. So that's obstetrician. But outside the domain of that, in relation to a woman, a woman's reproductive system or a female reproductive system is a gynecologist.
Okay. So doctor says the gynecologist sees a woman who is not yet pregnant, but she has issues with her reproductive system. So she sees a gynecologist. But the obstetrician attends to a woman who is pregnant. So from the journey of pregnancy till she delivers and even after till some weeks. So those are the differences between them.
Yeah.
Doctor, I guess I'm
yes,
right.
Yes, you are right. But in Ghana, one doctor plays those two roles.
Okay, so actually the same doctor is the gynecologist and the same as the obstetrician. The training permits that, or it does both of those. Okay, so who see a gynae? Let's say, what are some of the conditions that would push a woman to come and see a gynae?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier on, the gynecologist sees the reproductive system. So once you are hitting adolescence, let's say age 11 to 13 thereabouts, you know, some people, they have delayed menstruation, or they have painful menstruation from the beginning, or irregular menses. So from the start there, you need to see a gynecologist. Or if you have, you are uncomfortable, you have an infection, maybe some discharge, you are uncomfortable with, you need to see a gynecologist. And then when you are thinking about maybe family planning services, or contraceptives, you are not ready to get pregnant, you need to see a gynecologist. And then, so that's the beginning. So if in your, as you are growing, let's say from 21 onwards, that you need to have cervical screening, you need to see a gynecologist till you get to menopause. Menopause is a whole lot on its own. And that time, you need to see a gynecologist. Okay,
so at what age does a woman start to see a gynecologist?
So if you look at the time of starting menses, is from, it can be as early as 11 years, yes, 11, 13 years onwards, yeah. So that's how early somebody can see. Yeah.
So any person beneath that could not see a gynae, you can see the general doctor.
You can see a general doctor, but here comes a case too. If, let's say, the unfortunate thing of sexual assault, I mean rape of somebody below 10 years, you can also see a gynecologist.
So how sensitive and involving is your practice as a gynae? How sensitive is it and how involving is it? Because, you know, women, we are very complex. Yeah. So how involving is being a gynae or obstetrician?
Yeah, so in terms of the involvement, it's a lot. Because, you know, pregnancy, it comes with a lot of niggling issues, which are normal. Yeah. And also with the delivery, although we expect you to deliver within this time, things can take certain time, can become an emergency. So all the time, you need to be alert. I mean, so in that sense, it's very involving.
Doc, what has been your greatest strength or weakness as a gynae? Any experience you could share with us?
Yeah, so the strength has been that it's always fulfilling to see to solve a problem, or let's say to the upside, to the obstetric side, to see somebody the birth experience. The delivery, somebody assisting somebody to come into the world is very fulfilling. And of course, naturally, the passion is there. I mean, caring for people has been my passion. It makes the work a bit easy for me. And I think it's one of my strengths.
Any weakness?
And it may be the same thing, be the weakness, being that in sometimes when you see people present late, I mean their disease condition, they present late. They seek advice from sources that they are not supposed to seek advice. And they come late, or sometimes they are not able to meet up with their So because of the zeal and passion you have, if you see certain cases late that you should have come early, then it becomes very painful.
Okay.
It becomes very, very painful and demoralizing. Okay. Yeah.
So, how do you feel as a gynae or an obstetrician? Is there a joy? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you feel so special among the other doctors? Do you think, you are there or something? How do you feel about it?
No, so I say it this way. The reason why it's an interesting area is that you always keep interacting with people.
Okay.
And there is no boredom to that, to interacting with people every time. And at the end of it all, or let me say most of the time, somebody trying to get pregnant, then based on your advice, they're able to get pregnant and deliver. It's a happy time. It's a joyous time. So it makes the profession or the specialty
lovely. Eh?
Thank you.
Okay. Let me just say, since you're a woman doctor, do you think women are complex? And do you appreciate working with women? And how difficult can we be when it comes to our reproductive health?
So I won't say women are complex, but the thing maybe people should know is that women have a lot of hormones that's depending on the time of their menstrual cycle will be released in high quantities. For example, when you have, let's say, a week to your menses, there's this hormone going high and all that. So during that time, most women become moody.
Oh, okay. So those hormones actually affect us
very
as
good.
women.
They affect the emotions. So, and there are over 300 different forms of emotions women can display during that time.
300 forms?
Yes.
Over 300 forms?
Over 300 forms.
Wow.
Of, so you call it a premenstrual syndrome.
Okay.
So if you meet a woman at that time, you can say the woman is difficult, the woman is this, but if you look at it from the scientific point of view, you realize that it's not her, let's say, it's the hormones. So that you call it a premenstrual syndrome. But when you have this thing in mind, if you have this understanding, you know that it's the hormones and all that, then you will not see her complex. You will have the way of handling her will be different. So at that period, I'm saying some of them is just anger, some of them is loneliness, and then some of them is the mood swings, and some of them is the physical feelings, tenderness in the breast, lower abdominal pain, sometimes loss of appetite. It's a whole range. So it can be. So I won't say women are complex. And it's the same to with the pregnancy.
See.
When they are pregnant, the certain hormones must be very high to keep the pregnancy. So, and because the baby is like a foreign object, so to speak. It wasn't part of the woman. Then all of a sudden you are carrying this thing and it must be sustained. So these hormones are there to help sustain the baby. So these hormones can make the woman, so women, they vomit in the morning. Others is anger.
Okay.
Mood swings. So these things affect the woman's emotions. And when they deliver to, the hormone is gone.
Okay.
Then some of them may tip into having blues or depression.
Okay.
So when you understand these things, women are simple. They are not complex to handle.
Oh, then it means you, the gynecologist obstetricians, you understand women a lot. So maybe we should just end up marrying all gynecologists in the world so that they can really take good care of us. Don't you think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. So that has made us understand that women actually are not complex. Sometimes we behave because of our hormonal effects. So please, take it easy on the women. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll hit the streets to see what our viewers have for us. And Doctor will still tell us more about today's episode.
This advert is FDA approved.
Mommy is coming! Mommy is coming!
Have you cleaned the kitchen? Done all the chores?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it's time for
Dole yogurt. Dole yogurt. Everybody grab Dole. It's delicious. love it, and dads enjoy it, and the children, they love it. With a cup is dole yogurt, with a cup is dole, with a cup is dole yogurt, with a cup is dole. Dole yogurt.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, the show is still the Pregnacare Show, brought to you by Vena Mineral Drinking Water and Dole Yogurt. So before we went for the commercial break, doctor made us understand that women are never complex at all. So don't worry if someone tells you you are complex. It's because of our hormones. Doctor, we would want to find out something before we hit the streets. Have you heard of any funny stories since you became a gynae? Like any funny stories that you've heard about gynecologists or obstetricians? If you've heard anyone, maybe we want you to share with us.
I wouldn't say they are funny stories. Sometimes people, they make fun of the profession. They just wonder what's exactly the whole thing is, But it's understandable. If you are outside the field, you just be wondering, what exactly is in there.
Okay.
But like we were saying earlier on, the whole thing is about helping women when they have problems with their reproductive system.
Oh, okay. Have you had any client, a woman, whom you examine and she feels uncomfortable, with you coming to examine her as a man? Have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah, a lot of the times. But it depends on the counseling and everything.
Okay.
But most of the time, the group of people who feel uncomfortable are the teenagers. It's understandable.
Okay.
They are now, you're a child, all of a sudden you are having changes, you are being initiated into adulthood, and then you have to go and see somebody, a doctor, and then you have to be a man, and then
has to see you naked.
and you have to be. So it's very uncomfortable for them.
Oh, okay.
So those people, it's good when their mother is around, but there a lot of talking will have to go in. Yeah.
Before.
So they're the group of people who feel very uncomfortable. Yes. But some of the women too. But like I said, once the counseling and all that
takes place,
then
she's good to
yeah,
go. Okay.
It becomes easy for them to relax for examination.
So let's hit the street for our Vox Pop session.
My name is Linda from Dansoma. I just want to share my little experience about the gynecologist. So when I was pregnant from the start to 3 months, I was vomiting, having abdominal pains and all. But talking to the gynecologist and him helping me go through it, I think I'm well to do enough, giving birth safely without any problem. So my advice to you people is that you should also try and then visit your gynecologist when you are having such problems, because some of them are very friendly, unlike what people say outside.
Hame, it's name be brave or gynecologist. My name is wife. Akasa nti say me hwe no say obe choose say obo go hu ni ahwe sana ni meko
within the gift me kasa freedom summer market mate say doctors for no mo hwe ma no mo hu ma no mo sa nti o mo mpu ma pese me bisa say eye no kra na say enye dokre.
So we hit the street to take some questions from our viewers, and these are some of the questions we had from the street. So doctor, this is actually from a man.
Okay.
He's saying he will never allow his wife to come and see a gynecologist because he feels that most often you people disrespect women because you feel like you are always with the woman, you're examining her. That is his feeling, that you disrespect women. How true is that? And how would you keep what he's saying?
Yeah, so it's like this. The gynecologists are not all men.
Okay, sure. That is fine. I should have. So, we have
so
women
gynecologists too.
Then men as
yes,
well.
Yes,
That's
just that they tend to be fewer because the work is demanding.
Okay.
So, for example, me, when I have very close family members who need gynecological services and they are not comfortable with me, I get a colleague female who sees them. But you can't have disrespect for women when you understand them. Yes, if you understand what they go through in terms of the problems they have, in terms of, let's say, let me bring the pregnancy thing again. Okay. How they're able to carry a whole human being into this world. You can't disrespect them. Yes. Okay. So, like we were talking about the funny stories. That is the idea somebody will have, but from the training and the understanding of women, there can never be a disrespect towards any woman who is seeking help.
Okay, so that's fine. I think today the men are actually hitting. So another man is also saying same. He will not allow his wife to come and see a gynae, especially a gynae, because he feels people take advantage of the women. I do not know what he means by that anyway. So maybe you have to tell us. Do you take advantage of the women
when you are seeing a woman? Okay, and especially when it's coming to time of examination, you always need to have somebody around. A chaperone, let me say it like that, so that it protects the patient and it protects you, the doctor too.
As well.
Yes, the doctor as well, so that there will not be any, like what somebody is saying, that they take advantage
of the women.
But I also find it difficult to understand how you can, let's say somebody is bleeding heavily, or somebody has cancer of the cervix, bleeding heavily, and how you take advantage of such a person. I'm finding it will be difficult to.
That's a perception out there.
Yes. So to prevent these perceptions, there must always be a chaperone
around during your care.
If there's no chaperone, we don't go ahead to examine.
Okay. Yeah. So the third person, I think, is actually she's sharing her experience. Okay. She's encouraging that women should go and see the gynecologist because she's been doing this for a while, and it's been beneficial to her. Or any reproductive health care or issue she has, it's being detected early because she goes to see them often and then she's taken care of. So she's encouraging that women or ladies, if you're a woman, just find it okay and then walk in to see a gynecologist. So that's what she's saying. Anything to add to that advice?
Yeah, I agree with her perfectly because most of the time it's your body. So if something's happening to you, you know. And the earlier you seek a professional advice is the best.
How expensive is it to see a gynae or an obstetrician?
Well, in terms of finances, it depends on where you are seeking treatment.
Okay.
For example, if you are seeking treatment here with us here in Ghana, it's different. The price will be different from when you are seeking treatment in America. Sure. In the same way in Ghana here, it depends on the area. It's just like housing. If you go to East Legon to go and rent, it's more expensive than when you go to, let's say, where? Thelma or somewhere else.
Okay.
So there are those.
They vary.
Where
you are going to see.
Yeah, yes.
But you do attend to private clients, right?
Yeah.
You could have a private client that you attend to.
Yes.
Okay. So that is on a different level.
Yes. So, but on the whole, it's not. I will not say it's expensive. It's affordable, and especially when, as a woman, in our parts here, where culturally your reproductive system is very important. When there's any problem, you want to get it's solved early, or when you are pregnant, you want the best for yourself. And I don't think, or let's say you have, let's say, ectopic, you've missed your menses, and then you have low abdominal pain. Instead of you seeking early treatment, you don't. That is more expensive than you losing your womb, or losing your fallopian tubes, or losing your life.
Okay.
So on that level, I don't think it's expensive
compared to losing your
compared to the complications you
that's
can have.
Might arise. Okay. What are some of the challenges in general that you face as a gynae or an obstetrician?
Yes. So like challenges I was talking about. Sense of for the fact that there still needs to be a lot of education done. Some parts of the women population understand seeking treatment early. Some understand, but because of financial constraints, some understand, but they don't know exactly where to go for. So, like I said, the passion to work, it tends to pain when things you think can be easily solved takes so long a time to get to you to handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go for a short commercial break.
This advert is FDA approved.
Mommy is coming, mommy is coming.
Have you cleaned the kitchen? Done all the chores?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it's time for
Dole yogurt, Dole yogurt. Everybody, grab Dole. It's delicious, creamy, and refreshing too. Mommies love it, and dads enjoy it, and the children, they love it. With a cup of Dole yogurt, with a cup of Dole, with a cup of Dole yogurt, with a cup of Dole yogurt.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. On today's episode, we'll be looking at something very interesting about Vena mineral drinking water. So currently, Vena has a low amount of the sodium nutrients. We all know that sodium helps to maintain our blood pressure. It helps on the muscle and a lot of things. So generally, everybody needs some amount of water to keep hydrated. So we are recommending that you take in Vena mineral drinking water, changing people's life. And as well as Dole yogurt, it contains prebiotic and probiotic nutrients and contains all the required amounts of nutrients you will need to function well. So try Dole and you will like it. So doctor, I would want you to give us your final words on the gynecologist obstetrician and any advice you would have for women in general or ladies in general. What do you think we should do concerning our reproductive health care?
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
So my final words, the women shouldn't shy away from seeing the gynecologist whenever they have any problems that they are not comfortable with and especially when whenever they read something. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to have a problem. When you read something or you heard something like cervical cancer and all that, you want to go and seek a professional advice. It's good to read, Google and all that, but you need a professional advice, yes. And that's the way to go. You should make your health a priority.
So doctor says, make your health your priority. So he's encouraging that as women, we should always and often try to visit the hospital to see the gynecologist when you are not pregnant. But then when you are pregnant, you see the obstetrician. Don't shy away of anything. Come to them, speak with them, and the cost is very affordable. And then walk in to Holy Trinity Medical Center. They are always available. The gynaes, the obstetricians are always there. So walk into Holy Trinity and you will be well taken care of. The cost is actually affordable. So please do not shy away. Our tip for today's episode is every woman is encouraged to make a regular visit to see the gynecologist obstetrician, where you would have a regular reproductive examinations and scans done for you. Do not wait till you have a problem before you hit them. Always try as much as possible to see one as and when. So that was our tip for today's episode. So on today's episode, Dr. made us understand that the gynecologist is someone who attends to women in general, and men also have their own doctors. The obstetrician is someone who attends to a pregnant woman during the delivery and even after the delivery. So he's saying that feel free to come to them. Do not shy away. It's affordable and they do not take advantage of women as most of our viewers were saying. They are women friendly. And also remember, as women as we aren't complex at all. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you have any comments, if you have any experiences, kindly leave them in our comment section on all our social media platforms and keep subscribing to our YouTube channel at The Pregnacare Show. You could also hit my personal channel on IG at @DeDay_. Gawu. The show is brought to you by Vena Mineral Drinking Water, changing people's life, and Dole Yogurt. See you next week for another episode.